Hi there, it's Lesley Langdon for Glue Arts, and this week we are working with Graphic 45 papers from the Christmas Past collection, and what I'm going to show you today in this video is how to make this flower. And it's actually made from canvas using a multi-medium gloss, like a Mod Podge glue sort of thing, and UTEE, so ultra thick embossing powder from Ranger. And then we'll glue it all together with our Glue Arts glue gun and make the brad as well. Okay, so very simple, a little time consuming in the drying time, but other than that, it's pretty simple and the result is excellent. First thing you want to do is get a piece of canvas. You can buy this at a local fabric store, and you'll want to saturate it with water so it's nice and wet. Okay, and then you want to take your 3 flowers that are each, you know, the larger, medium, and then your small one. I'm going to do a couple designs to show you what they look like. Now I've cut mine out of my silhouette, so here's some nice Graphic 45 paper. This one is called Letters to Santa from the Christmas Past collection. So I've got my 3 flowers here I'm picking off my mat, and I'm going to just try and set them up there. Okay, then I'm going to take this Studio multi-medium gloss, and it's just it's a glue, a multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to adhere the flowers then to the wet canvas. Okay, and I'm not going to cut them out yet, so first I'm going to apply it to the paper to saturate the paper. Okay, and then put it down, and then I'm going to go over the top as well. Oops. Nice and saturated, okay? Now, putting the paper onto the canvas will just give us a more solid feeling flower, as opposed to just paper. This is going to make it thicker and have more bones to it, if you like. Okay, so I'll do this for the other paper as well, and then I'll come back. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry my flowers, but I'm going to dry it using a heat gun tool, and I'm going to dry it from the back side. That way the flowers will stay flush against the something hard while they're drying. Okay, I'll be back once they're dry. All right, so after we did our first coat of the medium gloss, now we can start cutting out our flowers. And we will need to do a second coat of that, the multi-medium gloss on the top and on the back of the canvas. All right, so if you like, you can cut around the flower so that you can see a little bit of the canvas on the back, or you can cut it flush, you know, directly. But with this one, I'm actually going to let some of the canvas act as a mat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out my flowers, and then we'll get back to it. Now we're ready for our second coat, and you can see the flowers are all cut. There's the back of the canvas, so they're actually quite sturdy. What we're going to do is apply our second coat of the medium, the multi-medium gloss, and then we're going to drape them over beer bottle bottoms and tops so that when they dry, they kind of curl up. And since we've cut them out now, they're naturally going to be inclined to curl up, and that's what we want for dimension. All right, so I'll just go ahead and just use a piece of paper underneath there. Just apply my second coat to the tops. Okay, this will give it a nice glossy look. And then we're going to, at the end I'll show you, we're going to actually be going over the top with ultra thick embossing powder as well. Okay, so once you're done one, lift it up, and the medium sized one I'm going to drape over just this bottle here. Okay, just lightly, kind of force it down. It'll dry that way. Okay, and the biggest one I'm also going to put on the bottom of a beer bottle. Okay, or you can try and find another bottle, you know, this is a similar size. And you can change this up depending on your flower size, right? You might choose to do a really giant flower or a medium-sized flower. Okay, so again, on top of the bottle. Okay, let that dry. Then the small one here, make sure to do the back. It's really important to saturate all of this with this glue. You're just going to make sure that this will all stick together in the end. Okay, so and put that on the beer bottle head. Okay. All right, so we'll let those dry. You can try and use a heat gun again. I'll probably just let them dry naturally. So now my three flowers are dry, so we're going to apply UTEE, so ultra thick embossing powder, and this is by Ranger. Okay, so use VersaMark ink, which looks like this. Okay, you make sure you saturate the top of the flower. I'll just show you one to save video time. Okay, so you just apply the powder, shake off the excess. Okay, now I'm just going to spread this over in the meantime. I'm going to use my heat gun to heat it. Okay. You can shape your flower while the UTEE is still drying. So this is a bit hot to work with, but you're not going to burn your fingers. So just shape your flower so that it's curling up. Okay, and then set that aside and then work on your other two and do the exact same thing, and then we'll assemble them together with some hot glue. Okay? There you have it. These are nice and sturdy and hard, and when we put them together, they will make a nice, either an embellishment for your gift, or you can actually wear it as a brooch or a hairpiece, or, you know, you name it. You can put it on anything. But we have to create a center. So what I've done is I found this brad. So if you have a brad of similar size, or even if you have a bead, you know, this is a bead I was debating on covering, but it's kind of heavy and it's a bit too big for the middle of this particular flower. But you can also cover a bead. So I'm going to work on covering that brad with a piece of the paper, the same paper we used to make the flower. So what I'll do is I'll search here for a picture that I might want to be right in the center of the brad, and maybe maybe I'll do this Santa Claus one. So I'm going to have to cut closer to him to get the punch. Okay, so there we go. So center it, punch him out, and just imagine, okay, what that's going to look like. Okay, so now what you'll want to do is saturate this paper to make it easier to work with, kind of like paper mache. So we'll wet the paper and then apply the same kind of Mod Podge or the multi-medium gloss glue that I used for the flower. So let's do that. Alright, so here's the wet paper. We'll take out our glue again. Okay, you can just go ahead and dip the brad in there. I don't know why I'm doing this because I really hate getting glue on my fingers. It's terrible. So you can use a brush if you have one handy, but this is a lot easier, although I hate it. Okay. Okay. Alright, so just form that image around the brad. Okay. Looks really cute. Alright. So what we're going to do Let this dry a bit, apply a second coat of the glue, and then we'll do the UTEE. Same as the flower. And then we're going to adhere this all together with our Glue Arts glue gun. All right, so there's all the pieces. It's coming together nicely.